Jerry. Don't worry, it's only an hour long, and most days it doesn't
All right, here we
suck.
go. It's Friday, soon to be a summer Friday, a couple of minutes after 5 o'clock. What is up? The Lion himself, the Eddie Schizzeri. Good to see you, and Al Ryan Dukes. It's Friday. You're happy. You're smiling. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Jerry. What a night of sports. Can you feel the sports, Jerry, just pumping through your veins? I mean, unfortunately, the Yankees weren't part of a big sports night.
There was a lot of vein pumping last night.
There was a lot of vein pumping in New York sports. The heck with all these other cities, Jerry. They all suck. New York sports is where it was at last night.
Last night. We haven't won many championships of late, but last night was pretty good.
What have you done for me lately? Last night was good.
Would have been good if either of us was up to see them.
Yeah, that would have been good, sure. Let me ask you this, Jerry. You're a guy who made a career out of doing sports updates. You do a different sort of thing now with Boomer and Gio and what you did with Boomer and Carton. But when you were a sports update guy, you would come in and you would have your 2 minutes or 1 minute, or it's down to, I think, 24 seconds now. What would you lead with as a sports guy here in New York City this morning if you were doing an update? Would you do the Rangers winning game 2? Would you do the Mets comeback?
Yes and yes.
Well, which one has to be first?
So if you go back when we used to do 3 an hour,
yeah,
and the top of the hour one was 5 minutes, by the way.
5 minutes?
Full top of the hour, you'd play like 5-6 pieces of sound. You would give scoreboards. It was because there weren't, you didn't have all the apps on your phone. It was different.
Right.
So to me, easy. Midnight or whatever time, your first update would have been the Mets, the second one Rangers, or vice versa, and I would alternate all night long.
That's interesting, Jerry. I like that.
You can make the case both teams could be on the back pages of the papers today.
Correct.
So there you go. Now, the Ranger game wasn't very dramatic, but they won a game they had to win. It's the playoffs. The Garden was. I had a couple of friends of mine were there sending me the text messages about the place was just, in the beginning, ready to explode like it was the other night. And that Met comeback was pretty. The only thing that would have been cooler is if it was at Citi Field in the bottom of the ninth. But you know what? You put it in the Phillies' faces. Right
in your faces. Jerry, would you say last night in New York sports was good or pretty good?
No, pretty good.
Pretty good, Jerry.
That was better than good, actually.
It's pretty good. Yeah. By the way, shout out to Greg Giannotti, who predicted a 5-1 Ranger win.
Yeah, he didn't get it, though.
That's pretty damn close for hockey.
He also predicted a Met loss.
Oh, so
and he had, but you know what though? He had that nailed for 8 innings.
Yes,
they were getting smoked 7-1. I saw. So the one thing I did see, my son had a game last night, and at one point I saw from one of the Met reporters on Twitter because I wanted to check the scores. Was I guess it's a Stinko de Mayo. I'm like, oh well, the Mets aren't doing well then. And I got home and they weren't. It was 7-1. Went to bed. I woke up. I was like, what? So I watched specifically the 9th inning.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been talked about or not, but the most underrated play in that 9th inning was Starling Marte's leadoff infield single that he beats. That wasn't like it wasn't hit off the pitcher. It wasn't a little dribbler. It was an infield single that you're down 7-1. You very easily could have loafed it to first base. That dude busted it out of the box, and he started the rally.
Right, because then he gets on there like, no big deal. 7-1.
Right.
We gave up an infield hit. Then even Francisco Lindor, home run, 7-3.
Although I give Gary credit because about 30 seconds after the home run, he goes, you never know. Maybe this is the start of something in Philadelphia.
What?
And it was. It's exactly what he said.
So even now it's 7-3, and the bases are cleared. You get a fresh start if you're the Phillies pitcher.
James Norwood. Not Scott Norwood. That was the Bills kicker.
James Norwood?
This was James Norwood.
Was this their closer, or there was another that they brought in later?
Knable's the closer. They brought him in at
Knable.
They brought him in at 7-3, and I think the next guy got on.
Yeah, that was now. Listen, it's a regular season game, but that felt like 86 Mets, Jerry. It felt like.
I'm not going to argue with you. This was like the Cardinal game from a couple of weeks ago, but it was a little bit more because they didn't score 5 runs; they scored 6. And it was in Philly. It was pretty cool.
Pretty good. 7 runs in the 9th.
Yeah.
They beat the Phillies in Philadelphia 8-7. Starling Marte got the rally started, as you said, Jerry, beating out that infield single.
Yes.
And later had an RBI double in the same inning, same 9th.
So I want to do something for you.
All right.
So if I play for you, I'm just going to give you the end of it. This is WIP. I want to
Awesome.
show you how stunned they were.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to give you the end. I'm not exactly sure where I picked it up, but just so you see where I pick it up for the second clip.
Is this the end of the game or the end?
No, this is the end of Marte's RBI double, the end of that call. All right, so here, I'll give you 10 seconds.
To the base of the left center field wall. They've scored 7 times in the 9th inning. And New York has an 8-7 lead.
Okay, you got that, right? Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to give you what happened after in New York, the 8-7 lead. Remember, this is radio, not TV. These guys in the booth were stunned beyond stunned. They had nothing to say.
And New York has an 8-7 lead.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
This thing on? Hello? Uh-huh.
What do you suppose they're doing?
I don't know.
Marte.
That was 19 seconds of just stunned silence.
Stunned to disbelief, Jerry.
That is really funny. Now,
that is awesome.
Here is where words can matter. All right? Because you can certainly make the case that he's not a fan of Knebel.
Caleb Cotham going out to talk to Corey Knebel, who blows.
Good point. He does blow.
But, of course, that's not what he was saying.
Corey Knebel, who blows the save.
Poor
That's
Corey
funny.
Knebel. Take that, Corey Knebel.
I know. That's always a tough situation, too, because while you had a lead, all you had to do was get a couple of outs. You still came in the middle of a mess, and the Mets had that feeling. But, yeah, that was a tough one for Philadelphia.
Yes, very tough one for Philly. Too bad. They were wearing their cool unis as well, Jerry, those cool blue. I didn't realize how many teams had this sort of powdered blue uniform in their repertoire over the years. Phillies, Blue Jays,
Yeah.
Royals, Tampa Rays, I think, had it also.
And the yellow,
Jerry.
yep, that's exactly
Did
right.
I mention the Blue Jays?
You did, yes, you did.
Okay, the
Yeah.
Royals, had those.
Mostly it's 4.
Yeah, so it's
That's so good.
it's
What about the
something,
Brewers?
Jerry.
They ever wear those
Brewers,
colors?
Jerry,
Yeah.
good point.
There
Thank you
go.
for bringing that up,
Right
Brewers.
on. Uh-huh.
Yes, that was pretty cool.
No, that was fun last night.
So I saw Elias. The Elias people were.
You have the 858 number, too?
Yeah, the Elias people, Jerry, they were very busy. Now, do you think they get woken up when something crazy's going on?
No, I think
Someone
the
at
Bureau
Elias?
is awake.
You think the Bureau's going 24/7?
Yes, I do.
Elias.
I do.
And you think they have TVs everywhere?
Yeah.
I would love to. Why doesn't anyone do a documentary on Elias Sports
They
Bureau?
should, because it's
I'd love to
probably
see
a
this.
fascinating company.
Right.
They have to keep tabs on everything.
Yes. Everything. Like, they've got to be watching games, be like, probably should write that down. Write what down?
Right.
The guy just had an untied shoe, and if they score, that's be the 7th time in the history of baseball where someone scored after tying their shoe, according to Elias Sports.
It's
Like, they
true.
have to write down everything to know that 857 straight losses by MLB teams when they were trailing by 6 runs or more in the 9th. That seems incredible.
I saw Sports Center put up on the graphic when the inning started for the Mets.
Okay.
They had a 0.1% chance of coming back and winning that game.
0 point. And
Could you
they
imagine what
did
the
it.
odds were if you bet live?
It was 60-1.
That's it?
Yeah. In the 9th.
60-1?
Yeah.
That's it.
That was it. I saw that in an article. It was
You have a 0.1% chance to win, and all my odds were 60-1?
It was a 60-1 chance
That ain't
at the
great.
start of the inning.
I would have
the
thought it was
Mets
1,000-1.
Yeah.
Huh.
Right, that wasn't so super.
No. 60 to
Get
1.
Elias on that.
Sounds like a week 4 jet line.
Yeah. Also, Elias, Jerry, came up with the 3rd time in Mets history they've come back from at least 6 runs down in the 9th to win.
Last time was 97.
97. How old are you, Jerry?
In 97?
Yup.
23.
1997 was quite a few years ago, Jerry.
That's when you found yourself?
97 to 2007 is 10 years. 97 to 2017 is 20 years.
Right.
25 years ago.
How about that?
I was 26 years old, or 27. I was 27 years old, Jerry.
Yeah.
A young man, just really.
Were you in
finding
Tampa at that
himself.
point?
I was.
Yeah. So there's no chance you saw that game?
No.
Yeah.
I was 27 years old, and I can tell you this. There's one thing I recall vividly about being 27 years old. I was dating a girl who was also 27 years old. One of the rare times I dated someone my age, Jerry. And I remember we were walking by the water in Tampa, and we had been together a couple months, and she referenced something about, asked how much money I made. And I told her $19,000 a year. And she sounded like the Phillies broadcaster, stunned at disbelief.
Never spoke to her since, huh?
I think she was cocky. She was making $35,000.
Yeah,
So
well, I would be
like,
too if I found that I had doubled yours.
Yeah,
of course.
So that is like a single thing I recall from 1997. Now, had I watched this Met game back then,
I believe Carl Everett homered in that Met game.
Is that right?
If I read that right, yes.
Oh, you did. Oh, really? Did you call Elias Sports
I did
Bureau?
not. I read the same article you did. I just read a little bit further than you did.
I got to that one. I was like, that's good enough. On to the next.
Couple of good notes. We move on.
I got it right. I got a couple of nuggets. I'll shout out Elias Sports Bureau. You think we could do a digital exclusive where you and I go to Elias Sports Bureau and follow them around?
If they would allow us
digital. They're probably right. They're probably so secretive over there.
Yeah, I don't know if they would let us in.
I want to know how many people are in the newsroom, how many TVs they got going. Are the phones buzzing like during this Met game? Like, holy smokes, something's going on.
He said,
here.
holy Shnikeys.
Holy Shnikeys.
Yes.
Who said that? Howie Rose?
Hold on right here.
Holy Shnikeys.
Because the one time he cursed, and Eddie has that.
Eddie had to bleep
it out.
We could have bleeped this out too, but he said Shnikeys.
Oh, Shnikeys.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. I've not heard holy Shnikeys.
No, it's an alternate to holy bleep.
Now, did he give you the holy Shnikeys? Do you remember at what point that was? Was it?
That was the Marte. That's when they took the lead.
Oh, when they took the lead. Okay.
Yeah, right here.
Nemo around third, coming home. He scores standing. Double for Marte. 8-7 New York. Holy Shnikeys.
And who scored there? Was that
Jankowski, who pinch ran after the J.D. Davis double.
I'm loving this guy pinch running.
Yeah, no, this guy's tremendous. He really is. We got to get his jersey.
He's tall and lanky. He's got. Somebody sent me a video. He referenced the other day. You played the clips of him saying that. He knows his role on the team. He's pinch runner dude. He's outfield dude. He's not expecting people to wear his jersey. Somebody sent me a video when he was on the Padres. He did one of those undercover things where he tried to talk people into getting his jersey when he was at
and
some
no one knew who he was.
Local sports store. Yeah, no one knew who he was.
That's amazing. You know why? Because he does have a distinctive look.
He does. It's
not like he's he's got the longer hair. He's tall. You would think if you are a fan of that team, like I would actually think if a diehard Met fan was in the Met shop at Citi Field or around Citi Field, you would know it was him. I really do.
Right.
San Diego.
He's a hero now, though, here, Jerry, because he said such a thing, because he's in the mix for all these games.
And he's been a really good fit.
Yeah.
He's, it's worked. And he doesn't complain. He likes his role. The one thing that was funny, was it Gary or I forget which one, because I had Gary, I listened to Gary, Howie, and WIP. One of them said that Alonso and Lindor were bumping chests like they just won the pennant.
That was probably some rude Philadelphia.
No, I think it was Howie, actually.
Yes. Oh, right?
It was Howie?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
He was saying that in a happy way, or like, look at these guys.
No, just kind of, how the silence, how Philly was stunned. It was just, he was just filling the moment and telling you what was going on.
Yeah.
There's the one cool one. I forget who it was. I don't remember the at-bat. But there's a woman sitting behind home plate. When the Met, did you see this?
Well, I thought
when her eyes were like, "Oh, yes. Here we go."
I thought that was really great, and I thought the TV did a great job of capturing the fans.
Yes, they did.
While that whole inning was going on,
the Met fans, and there were a lot of them there. They were fired up, and the Philly fans were quiet.
Yes, you got a lot of fired up Mets fans. You got that girl whose eyes got big, like, "What do we got?" And she did that early on.
No, is that true?
I think she did
in
that,
the inning.
Yeah,
it was after the Lindor home run.
Correct. Right, which was they're still down 4 runs.
I think it was after the Lindor home run and then the next hit. I don't remember what the hit was. It might have been Alonso's line drive down the left field line. I forget. But yeah, that was kind of cool. That's like you could do something with that.
There were a lot of Mets fans at that game who looked like Sal Licata.
Bald,
into it.
That's Sal. Sal had a good night
too. Yeah, Sal did have a good night.
His Rangers won.
Yep.
The Mets looked dead and came back to win in Philly. That's a show. And that's an easy show.
I guess so, yeah, when you generally have not a ton of sports
Piece
talk.
of cake.
And then not only did you get the jubilant Met fans, but you're right, you got in particular, one like sad Phillies teenager.
How about the opportunity we have here?
Which is what?
If the Mets could win again tonight
Mm-hmm.
and the Sixers go down 0-3, that all happens within walking distance.
Yes. New York.
You look very
I was
excited
going to say
about that.
New York dominating Philly, but no, I forgot our teams are out in basketball.
Miami would be
All right, we'll take Miami. We'll root Miami.
But you have a situation tonight where you could have a lot of very upset Philly fans leaving that complex right around the same time.
Embiid is out.
Right.
Is this a letdown spot for the Mets, Jerry?
No, I don't think the Mets have. I don't think the Mets have had one yet this year.
That's right.
Can you think of one time where they've gone out, just went through the motions, and just looked like they kind of threw the towel? I don't know.
The last game of the Braves series?
No, I don't think so. I really don't.
That's the only one I could think that's close.
Because that was a close game until the seventh inning. The pitching was good. No, I feel like they've actually, for the most part, this year, you got something over there?
No, I'm trying to look up who's pitching tonight for the Mets.
Scherzer.
Max Scherzer.
Oh, forget it.
Or Max Merzer.
Forget it, Phillies.
Now, he wasn't great in Philly his first time around.
He'll be great, Jerry.
Well, he might be. I'm just telling you.
Let me see who's pitching against. Somebody named Gibson. Never heard of you.
Kyle Gibson,
Yeah,
I believe.
I thought his ERA was 9
You know, the
something.
Yankees
It's
are
actually 2.9.
Yeah, no. The Yankees are facing a kid today, this Glenn Otto, I think is his name.
Yeah.
They drafted him in 2017. My first time, who the hell is this guy?
Who's this punk?
And then you go on, because I wanted to see where he was from, and the first thing I saw, he's from Texas. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, God, the Yankees drafted him in like the second round in 2007, or whatever round it was, in 2017.
This is a cool night. It's Friday night. This is a cool night to go out to dinner somewhere where they have TVs. So not a fancy
It's
restaurant.
always a great time to go out to dinner where there are TVs.
Right, but you've got Max Scherzer pitching
Yes.
and Garrett Cole pitching.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is
They've
cool.
pitched on the same night a number of times already this year in this very young season, Jerry.
They're aces.
Yeah.
That's how it usually lines up.
No. It does, because sometimes there's a 4-game series, sometimes there's a 3-game series, sometimes there's a rain out, sometimes there's a day off.
No, it can be altered, but more times than not, the ones are going to pitch when the ones pitch, and the twos. It can be altered for sure, but a lot of times that will even itself out. Yeah, that's
Are you sure, Jerry?
usually the way it works.
When at some point in the season, that's got to get all whacked out.
I said
out of
it
shape.
can, but it's not a surprise that both aces are pitching on the same day. That's actually.
So you're saying that there's probably aces on the other teams also
Yes.
pitching. Well, this is the night for baseball then.
It could be. We got to take a break.
I'm going to go out tonight, Jerry. I'm going to get
You're gonna live it up?
Miller Lite.
Be drunk by the second one.
I'm going to watch the Mets over here, the
Yankees.
Yankees over here. Hockey's not on tonight, is it, Jerry?
The Rangers play tomorrow night.
And tomorrow night, I'm going out to the bars again, Jerry. I'm going to have the Rangers over here.
All right, it's almost 20 after 5. Al is going to plan his weekend during the break. When we come back, more on that and a whole bunch more. And then Boomer and Gio at 6 on the Fan.